Few books in human history have the wisdom and charisma that Epictetus' Enchiridion has. Every word of this book counts. This single book can provide a much-needed antidote to the frustration and discontent rampant in our society. Truly, it is the Handbook of Life. I'm your friendly guide, Mr. Smart, in your journey to explore the wisdom and life hacks of Enchiridion. Subscribe to me so that I can continue making such videos with love and care, especially for you. Now let us discuss the 15 lessons I've learned from Enchiridion, the Handbook of Life. 1. Focus on what is in your control. Stoicism in general, and the teachings of Epictetus in particular, are centered on this theme. Put all your energies into what you can control and show the Stoic indifference to what you cannot control. But what is in our control and what's out of our control? In the golden words of Epictetus, some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in a word, whatever are not our own actions. Enchiridion 1. Epictetus further elaborates this theme. Work, therefore, to be able to say to every harsh appearance, you are but an appearance, and not absolutely the thing you appear to be, and then examine it by those rules which you have. And first and chiefly by this, whether it concerns the things which are in our own control, or those which are not. And if it concerns anything not in our control, be prepared to say that it is nothing to you. Enchiridion 1. We should rather go with the flow, while putting our best efforts into what we can control. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Enchiridion 8. 2. How to withstand a loss. It's natural to feel grief at a loss. It can be some material object or even a dear family member or friend. Epictetus advises us in these words. With regard to whatever objects give you delight, are useful, or are deeply loved, remember to tell yourself of what general nature they are, beginning from the most insignificant things. If, for example, you're fond of a specific ceramic cup, remind yourself that it's only ceramic cups in general which you're fond. Then if it breaks, you'll not be disturbed. If you kiss your child or your wife, say that you only kiss things which are human, and thus you'll not be disturbed if either of them dies. Enchiridion 3. Epictetus further advises us. Never say of anything, I have lost it, but I have returned it. Is your child dead? It is returned. Is your wife dead? She is returned. Is your estate taken away? Well, and is not that likewise returned? But he who took it away is a bad man. What difference is it to you who the giver assigns to take it back? While he gives it to you to possess, take care of it, but don't view it as your own, just as travelers view a hotel. Enchiridion 11. Still, it is difficult for you to bear a loss. Pay heed to these words. The will of nature may be learned from those things in which we don't distinguish from each other. For example, when our neighbor's boy breaks a cup or the like, we're presently ready to say, these things will happen. Be assured, then, that when your own cup likewise is broken, you ought to be affected just as when another's cup was broken. Apply this in like manner to greater things. Is the child or wife of another dead? There is no one who would not say, this is a human accident. But if anyone's own child happened to die, it is presently, alas, how wretched am I! But it should be remembered how we're affected in hearing the same thing concerning others. Enchiridion 26. 3. How to fight the fear of death. Death is a universal fear, powerful or not so powerful, successful or not so successful, rich or not so rich. all have the fear of death. But Epictetus says, men are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and notions which they form concerning things. Death, for instance, is not terrible, else it would have appeared so to Socrates. But the terror consists in our notion of death, that it is terrible. Enchiridion 5. 4. Change your perception of obstacles. Epictetus came to Rome as a slave of the rich and powerful freedman Epaphroditus, who himself had once been a slave of the Emperor Nero. Celsus, who was a younger contemporary of Epictetus, narrated an account that once Epaphroditus tortured Epictetus and twisted his leg. He endured the pain with his characteristic patience and tolerance, while warning his master that his leg would break. And when it broke, Epictetus said, "Did I not tell you that it would break?" From here onwards, Epictetus was lame. Keeping this in mind, analyze what Epictetus remarks here. Sickness is a hindrance to the body, but not to your ability to choose, unless that is your choice. Lameness is a hindrance to the leg, but not to your ability to choose. Say this with regard to everything that happens. Then you'll see such obstacles as hindrances to something else, but not to yourself. Enchiridion 9. My friends, Mr. Smart knows that you want to learn more about the life and struggles of Epictetus. That's why he's made a separate video about it. You can conveniently find the link in the card and description. Now, moving ahead to the 5th lesson. 5. Sweet are the uses of adversity. Every challenge, hardship, or failure creates and solidifies our strength, character, and morals. Epictetus is of the opinion, for every challenge, remember the resources you have within you to cope with it. Faced by pain, you will discover the power of endurance. If you are insulted, you'll discover patience. In time, you'll grow to be confident that there's not a single impression that you'll not have the moral means to tolerate. Enchiridion 10. 6. How to achieve the peace of mind. Listen to what Epictetus says if you desire peace of mind and happiness. If you want to improve, reject such reasoning as this: if I neglect my affairs, I'll have no income. If I don't correct my servant, he will be bad. For it is better to die with hunger, exempt from grief and fear, than to live in affluence with perturbation. And it is better your servant should be bad than you unhappy. Enchiridion 12. There definitely will be financial challenges and losses. Your team members, assistants, or employees can sometimes do sloppy work. But correct them without losing your temper or compromising your principles. And while doing so, keep these words of Epictetus in your mind. If you wish your children and your wife and your friends to live forever, you are stupid, for you wish to be in control of things which you cannot. You wish for things that belong to others to be your own. So likewise, if you wish your servant to be without fault, you are a fool. Enchiridion 14. 7. Practice self-control and discipline. Do you want to manage your time and finances well? Do you want to improve your relations at home or at the workplace? Well, then simply practice self-control and delay your gratification with these words of Epictetus as your guiding principle. Remember that you must behave in life as at a dinner party. Is anything brought around to you? Put out your hand and take your share with moderation. Does it pass by you? Don't stop it. Is it not yet come? Don't stretch out your desire towards it, but wait till it reaches you. Do this with regard to children, to a wife, to public posts, to riches, and you will eventually be a worthy partner of the feasts of the gods. And if you don't even take the things which are set before you, but are able to even reject them, then you will not only be a partner at the feasts of the gods, but also of their empire. For by doing this, Diogenes, Heraclitus, and others like them deservedly became and were called divine. Enchiridion 15. Epictetus further suggests If you are struck by the appearance of any promised pleasure, guard yourself against being hurried away by it, but let the affair wait your leisure and procure yourself some delay. Then bring to your mind both points in time, that in which you will enjoy the pleasure and that in which you will repent and reproach yourself after you've enjoyed it. And set before you, in opposition to these, how you will be glad and applaud yourself if you abstain. Enchiridion 34. My fellows, I need to remind you to subscribe to Mr. Smart so that he can continue to make such videos with love and care. Furthermore, if you want to transform your life in accordance to the Stoic principles of life, I have compiled a list of recommended books in the description, especially for you. 8. Respond wisely. If you want to reduce your problems substantially, pay heed to these words of Epictetus. When therefore anyone provokes you, be assured that it is your own opinion which provokes you. Try, therefore, in the first place, not to be hurried away with the appearance. For if you once gain time and respite, you will more easily command yourself. Enchiridion 20. 9. Don't try to please others. Don't waste your energies to please others. Rather, proactively do what's in your control while sticking to your principles, because if you ever happen to turn your attention to externals so as to wish to please anyone, be assured that you have ruined your scheme of life. Enchiridion 23. 10. Don't outsource your peace of mind. Are you wondering, what does it mean to outsource your peace of mind? Well, attentively listen to these words of Epictetus. If a person gave your body to any stranger he met on his way, you would certainly be angry. And do you feel no shame in handing over your own mind to be confused and mystified by anyone who happens to verbally attack you? Enchiridion 28. Outsourcing your happiness means to let any action, gesture, or word of any person disturb your mind. Look how subtly Epictetus remarks. If anyone tells you that such a person speaks ill of you, don't make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He does not know my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these." Enchiridion 33. So, in a nutshell, show stoic indifference to others' opinions and words, because you have no control over them. 11. Choose your battle carefully. We have limited time, energy, and resources in life. Don't make decisions lightly. Choose your passion carefully and then give it your very best while doing everything in your control. Epictetus advises, in every affair, consider what precedes and follows, and then undertake it. Otherwise, you'll begin with spirit, but not having thought of the consequences, when some of them appear, you'll shamefully desist. I would conquer at the Olympic Games. But consider what precedes and follows, and then, if it is for your advantage, engage in the affair. You must conform to rules, submit to a diet, refrain from dainties, exercise your body. When you have evaluated all this, if your inclination still holds, then go to war. Otherwise, take notice. You'll behave like children who sometimes play like wrestlers, sometimes gladiators, sometimes blow a trumpet, and sometimes act a tragedy when they have seen and admired these shows. Enchiridion 29. 12. Avoid gossip to stay focused. Don't waste your time in trivialities, such as useless gossip. Rather, stay focused on what's important. Epictetus advises, be for the most part silent, or speak merely what is necessary, and in few words. We may, however, enter, though sparingly, into discourse sometimes when occasion calls for it, but not on any of the common subjects of gladiators, or horse races, or athletic champions, or feasts, the vulgar topics of conversation, but principally not of men, so as either to blame or praise or make comparisons. Enchiridion 33. 13. How to conduct yourself. Enchiridion is the handbook of life, in which Epictetus suggests how to conduct yourself in a social gathering as well as alone. Immediately prescribe some character and form of conduce to yourself, which you may keep both alone and in company. Enchiridion 33. He further advises, don't allow your laughter be much, nor on many occasions, nor profuse. Avoid swearing if possible altogether, if not, as far as you're able. Avoid public and vulgar entertainments, but if ever an occasion calls you to them, keep your attention upon the stretch, that you may not imperceptibly slide into vulgar manners. Enchiridion 33. Furthermore, in parties of conversation, avoid a frequent and excessive mention of your own actions and dangers, for however agreeable it may be to yourself to mention the risks you've run, it's not equally agreeable to others to hear your adventures. Enchiridion 33. 14. Practice a minimalistic lifestyle. It's what we need today the most. Epictetus advised us centuries ago. Provide things relating to the body no further than mere use, as meat, drink, clothing, house, family, but strike off and reject everything relating to show. Enchiridion 33. 15. How to deal with the people wielding power. That's a tricky situation. Look what Epictetus suggests. When you're going to any of the people in power, represent to yourself that you will not find him at home, that you will not be admitted, that the doors will not be opened to you, that he will take no notice of you. If with all this it is your duty to go, bear what happens, and never say to yourself, it was not worth so much. Enchiridion 33. Dear viewers, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. In your opinion, how relevant are the Stoic principles of Epictetus in modern life? How much can these humane principles help us to achieve peace of mind? Let us know in the comments section. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to Mr. Smart and hit the bell button so you don't miss any such video. Here I need to remind you again that I've compiled a list of recommended books about Stoicism and smart living in the description, especially for you. Check it out. You will surely love it. My fellows, you will lead a happier, satisfied, and successful life when you follow the principles and life hacks mentioned in this animation. But we all tend to forget. 1 week or 1 month down the road, we shall forget the principles and rules that today we vow to stick to and follow. However, Mr. Smart has a solution for you in 1 word: repetition. Watch this video time and again. You've watched it today. You may watch it in 1 month from now, and then 3 months from now, and so on. And every time you watch the video, make an active self-analysis to track your trajectory of self-improvement. You can even keep a personal diary to note your observations. Live long, smart living.